Well, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively, back from vacation in Florida. We're back here in Texas. This is sponsored by HB Neal Construction, and we can slide over to the radar, which is sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. It's really been a nice Sunday here. Very, very isolated showers going on in parts of Chambers County, just southwest of Winnie, getting a little bit closer to the High Island region. But other than that, it has been a mostly dry day today, really across the state of Texas and Louisiana. That's because that weak frontal boundary is down there into the Gulf. That's where all the showers and thunderstorms are. Not really much going on here across the state of Texas and Louisiana because of all of that really sitting offshore of our region. Temperatures across the United States, it really varies. Far to the north, up there in Minneapolis, it's 66 degrees. But down here in San Antonio, it is 99 degrees. In southeast Texas, we are still into the mid to upper 90s as well. Here we are currently, temperatures wise, sponsored by Modern Concrete Materials. It's 94 here in Beaumont. Down there towards the coast, it's still pretty warm and hot into the upper 80s to low 90s. Up towards the lakes like St. Augustine and Jasper is into the low 90s. Conroe and Houston over there at 97, and southwest Louisiana into the low 90s. So it's still fairly warm, and we're going to stay fairly warm and hot, I guess we should say, on Monday. You can see this is our upper level flow. This is going to bring in our next weather maker. This is sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. High pressure ridge over our region. This keeps the rain chances just at zero pretty much on Monday. Very low, but it will keep our temperatures into the mid to upper 90s. But notice as we get into the end of the week that high pressure ridge moves off to the west, and another trough will likely be pushing into our region on Friday into early Saturday. So this is actually a pretty interesting sight to see here in August. A pretty strong cold front for the areas well to the northeast of us. That's really going to drop the temperatures down up for them. But down here locally, it's the clouds, it's the rain. That's what's going to make our temperatures drop down into the upper 80s to low 90s. In other words, it's not going to be the cold front just really doing it. It's the clouds and the rain that we're going to be getting out of it. So notice here on Monday, this is our sponsor of Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. We can show you the atmospheric moisture. Today has been dry, and notice on Monday it will be dry too. The areas are all in yellow, but once we get into Wednesday, we get to the purple and the pink. That is high levels of moisture. So that means that rain chances definitely will be increasing as we get into Wednesday, and then we zoom out. There's that next front that's going to be pushing into our area. So even though it's going to be weak, notice that it is a line of showers and thunderstorms that will be pushing into our region on Friday afternoon into Friday night. And then on Saturday, that boundary will still be here in our region Saturday morning, and it eventually pushes out. Now, let's talk about the future cast that we're dealing with on Monday and Tuesday. We've got the clouds starting to push back into our area. It's going to be a mostly hot and dry day on Monday. Little to no rain is expected, but as we get into Tuesday, moisture levels start to increase just a little bit, so then we can increase 20 to 30% of showers and thunderstorms here in our area. Over there in southwest Louisiana, we will keep an eye on, we've got the heat of the day because it's summertime still, and we get the moisture. We could have some strong storms. You get the lots of lightning, 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts can be possible. We'll keep an eye on that if that really does develop on Tuesday afternoon. Just know that moisture is slowly increasing on Tuesday, especially once we get into Wednesday. Here's our overnight low temperatures that we'll be seeing here in their area. So overnight and tomorrow morning on Monday, sponsored by Modern Concrete and Materials. It'll be into the low 70s along the I-10 corridor in Beaumont and Orange. Further west, like Houston, will be at 77 degrees. Further north, look at that, upper 60s, like Hemphill and St. Augustine at 68 degrees. Over there in southwest Louisiana, like Lake Charles, they'll be at 75, and down towards the coast, upper 70s to low 80s. Monday looks hot. That's because the high pressure ridge is over our area. Little, rain is expected. We're just talking 2 to 5% coverage, if that. So that means we just don't have anything to cool us down. We will be into the mid to upper 90s, no doubt about it. Temperatures start getting lower once we get to the end of the week. Here is Tropical Storm Ferdinand. This developed yesterday. This is just going to be a satellite presentation more than anything. This is not going to make any landfall at all here in the United States. Not even Bermuda will have to, deal with this, but we will continue to watch this on satellite imagery, but this is just a weak system that continues to push away from the United States. Here's another area that we will be watching. This has been struggling the last 3, 4, 5 days, dry air and some wind shear, and it's going to continue to struggle. If in fact, when I started doing this was at 40%. It looks like the National Hurricane Center just dropped this down to 30% odds in the next 5 to 7 days that this develops. So let's look at the satellite of this. We'll zoom in over here. We can actually see that satellite-wise, it actually doesn't look bad. It has the showers and thunderstorms in the convection, but the hurricane hunters went in this and actually found that once again, there's no center. So if this is about to go in the Caribbean, actually known as the Caribbean graveyard, lots of wind shear, and it doesn't have a center, it's going to have a pretty hard time to get developed. But we will keep an eye on it. So this is where it will go into the Caribbean Tuesday and Wednesday. Notice this, you really can't see anything, right? That's because it's disorganized, really just a blob of showers and thunderstorms and convection, and it's moving west. We will see if maybe a piece of it tries to break off once it gets closer to maybe Central America. We'll see if a piece tries to break off. More than likely, it might get developed in the Eastern Pacific if it does. If a piece of energy does, break off and goes a little bit further north, we will keep an eye on it. But right now, the wind shear and especially this dry, stable air, this is Saharan dust. Yes, we're still talking about it late August. Watch as Invest 99L continues going westward. Not only will it continue to have to deal with this strong wind shear, it's going to have to deal with a lot of this dry air from the Saharan dust as well too. So if it can find a way to battle that wind shear and find a way to bubble off this dry air, then maybe it has a chance of developing. But as of right now, it is just extremely low odds this develops. We will continue to keep an eye on it, but just no worries as of right now on this. Plenty of time to keep watching it too, but plenty of obstacles. 7-day forecast here in Southeast Texas. Rain starts picking up once we get to the middle to the end of the week. We have that weak frontal boundary pushing in on Friday. Depending on how fast that boundary pushes offshore on Saturday, we can adjust the coverage. Right now, it looks like rain will be in the morning on Saturday, and the Saturday afternoon and evening time hours definitely will be dropping off. Here in Southwest Louisiana, same thing. Monday will be hot and dry. Rain starts coming back into the forecast Wednesday, especially picks up on Friday as that weak frontal boundary pushes into our region. So this is our Sunday show. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday evening and Sunday night. I will see you back on Monday morning. Thanks for having me, and thanks for watching Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Everybody, have a good one.